So one of those really important things about a game is replayability. It's what makes a game an interactive form of media, the fact that every time you sit down, what you do affects things differently. There are a lot of ways of achieving this, many of which appeal to our monkey hindbrains like a level grind, but there are also more abstract ways of doing it, and each approach kind of defines a genre. Real-time strategy and racing games both appeal to your sense of competition. MMOs reach out to satisfy that innate desire to get a reward for your work. Simulation games help you feel okay with laughing at the misfortune of others. And you know, sometimes I just gotta say, I'm really impressed with a game that actually makes itself so replayable that no one even thinks about it. A good example would be Pokemon, which, while not everyone's bag, is massively replayable. Every single Pokemon you catch is wildly different, and not just between species, that includes the same Pokemon. 2 Charizards are not the same. Some are stronger than others, and that means you want to catch as many Pokemon as you can. I mean, think about it. They told you to catch 150 Pokemon, and if you were a child in the 90s, do not tell me you didn't try. And you had fun doing it! That was the crazy part. Meanwhile, someone tells you to memorize 150 amino acids, and you're like, no. But you know, the fact that there are so many different characters in Final Fantasy VI is one reason why I really like the game. You can only play with about 4 guys at a time, so you're compelled to try again some other time with a new group. It's the same thing as in Pokemon, you know, you gotta get every character and then figure out what they all do. But as we've progressed along in the series, we've gotten somewhat smaller parties and less freedom in deciding who's gonna be with us when. The biggest jump was clearly from Final Fantasy VI to Final Fantasy VII, and the reason is obvious, it's because there's a lot more demands with the better character models. You can't just scribble out a sprite and call it a new guy. But then you do notice that they tried new ideas, like the materia system, so although you had fewer people, you had more options to do new stuff with them. If you're not familiar, materia were little magical crystals that altered the stats of your dude and also taught them spells. Since then, it seems like a lot of Final Fantasy games now focus more on giving you customizability instead of a lot of characters. Final Fantasy X, for example, offered a wide range of customizable weapons and also the Sphere Grid, which unfortunately didn't work out so well. The Sphere Grid, which in theory should have been a branching series of choices about how your character was going to level up, just didn't branch out enough. It didn't feel free. When I think about that system and how it just really wasn't big enough to be worth it, I sometimes think it might have been due to a deadline crunch. After all, a lot of games with a lot of options fall into the frustration that a single path has more rewards for less investment. If the problem shows up early, then it accumulates with leveling, and you wind up really only having one path to go down anyway. So it's not too unlikely to say that maybe some of the branching options were dropped. It's not the only game that's done that on a deadline crisis, and at least Final Fantasy X could fall back on its story, Diablo 3. But anyway, let's get back to our game.
You know, I've kind of noticed that you've sort of got it out for Activision.
I don't really like Activision. I feel like they rely totally on the product placement of pre-existing successes that they didn't make. I mean, it is one thing to watch Square Enix kind of struggle to make Final Fantasy still appeal to people, but it's totally different to know a game series that you used to love is bought by a company that's not going to do anything good with it.
Okay, but realistically, if Activision bought a company, they bought all their intellectual property, that company probably wasn't doing so well and it wasn't going to hold out.
I know, but that's because the industry is changing. I mean, this game took 1 year to make, Final Fantasy XIII took 5 years to make. Production is way more expensive, the development teams are way bigger, they can communicate less easily. The industry has changed, and okay, it's fair to say that I don't really like the way that Final Fantasy games are made now. But at least a lot of effort is going into floundering and making mistakes from the part of the dev teams.
As opposed to the marketing teams, you mean?
Yeah, as opposed to the marketing teams.
Okay, but some people might argue that there really is no best way to make a terrible product that nobody wants.
Whatever, but Activision does this thing where they'll buy, like, I don't know, StarCraft, and everyone loved StarCraft from 12 years ago. That was back when gaming was doing really well. And they say, hey everybody, we're gonna make this game that you're all really nostalgic about. We're gonna release another one.
And then they do.
And then they do, and it's a total letdown.
Because the industry is different than it was 12 years ago, and you were totally naive to believe that you would get the same kind of thing.
But they act like it's gonna be the same kind of thing. That's the whole point of,
No, they don't. You have to think My Little Pony came out, and Generation 4 was totally different than anything else that they've done.
But that's the whole premise, though, is that it's all gonna be the same.
No, that's the thing. Brand marketing is really just kind of like a magic trick. It's not really what you think it is. You really just gotta think of every product as being its own, thing, on its own island.
I'm still mad at Activision. They tricked me.
Well, look, just think of it this way. What if they gave the Blizzard dev team an infinite amount of time and money to get this product done? And then it flopped.
Then down with the company!
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, and they don't want that, because they're a company.
I do not care for your corporate sympathizing. Gosh, it sure was good that somebody installed a switch to move those rocks around.
Silence!
Okay.
Excuses are afforded exclusively by the rich.
Excuses are cheap. Excuses can be afforded by everyone.
There's a door in this cave, too.
The rich corporations can afford the most excuses. Yeah.
Well, there's Fluttershy. But no, I agree. I mean, they really do have PR people. Technically, it's true.
Depends on your definition of excuses.
When they tried to, spin it so that people like Diablo 2 because of nostalgia, and not because they actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, I know about that.
That's
one.
PR.
But okay, think of it this way.
They hire someone.
Activision always releases the same product. Like Call of Duty, when you buy Call of Duty, you're getting Call of Duty.
But that's not really good with games, though.
But that's good business, though.
That's good business if you sell toilet paper.
Well, the brand is reliable, is what I'm getting at.
Okay, but see, this is what I'm saying, is you get far enough into the argument where you start saying like, oh, there's all these business reasons for doing this stuff, and then you realize that the business stuff is stupid if you get too wrapped up in it.
Look at these wounds. Yes. Why is there the wounded Fluttershy in the cave?
Well, she's supposed to be a ninja,
So what?
so maybe she was doing ninja training in the cave, to summon up her chakras.
What kind of ninja training requires you to go and die in the back of a cave?
I don't know, why did Naruto wear a bright orange jacket and a reflective headband?
Oh, I got a theory on that. I think it's because wherever they are, ninjas used to get hit by traffic all the time, so eventually the ninjas that survived and had babies were the ones that wore bright reflective headbands.
So you think that brightly colored ninjas is a survival trait for ninjas?
Yeah.
It's kind of counterintuitive, isn't it?
No, it isn't. No one hires ninjas to do anything, not for real. But think of all the advantages that Fluttershy has for being yield sign yellow. On Halloween, she can go trick-or-treating without supervision, because no cars are gonna hit her. All kinds of predators probably think she's poisonous. And have you ever lost a kid, or did you ever get lost yourself when you were a kid in a supermarket? You'd be so easy to find.
Okay, that maybe works for, kids, but how does that work for a ninja?
Oh, come on. Do not tell me that if Fluttershy walked into your house that you would ever suspect that she would throw shurikens into the back of your head.
I would be pretty shocked.
I would expect it.
Well, I wouldn't.
And therein lies your inevitable downfall.
See? And there you go. You would never expect her to be a ninja.
See, but with that line of logic, though, you could argue that everyone would be a good ninja. I mean, you could be a good ninja if you just hid in plain sight. Like if you just wandered around telling everybody, hey, I'm a ninja. No one would believe you.
That is exactly what Fluttershy does.
Oh my gosh, ninjutsu is so tricky.
We are in mortal danger in this room.
Fluttershy has gotta be the ultimate ninja master. She never gets hit by traffic, and no one suspects her.
I do think there's probably one major hurdle, though, in the theory, and that's, how does Fluttershy get employment if she just wanders around telling everybody that she's a ninja, and no one believes her?
Well, it could be that maybe she puts up a want ad with a shuriken, and she doesn't have her name or picture on it.
So you're saying that she puts up want ads for a trained assassin?
Well, with some really good marketing. I mean, we were just talking about brand recognition.
No, I don't think so.
Well, she might as well try, because she's already telling everyone that she's a ninja.
Well, the trouble is, though, if she gains a reputation as a reliable ninja through those want ads, then everyone knows she's really a ninja.
Maybe it is legal to be a ninja here. Yes.
Yeah, she was hired by the Imperial government. Maybe she's legal.
Actually, now that we think about it, if we go back to all the times that she was hired to do anything, all of it was legal work. In fact, everything she's done is boiled down pretty much to guard service or escorting things or maybe just keeping an eye on stuff. Plus, she's more lightly armed than everyone else, so you could think of her as kind of like a mall cop, except with a bit more agency, maybe?
And a heightened resistance to traffic incidents.
Okay, that is not the end-all be-all, the superpower.
You say that now, but wait until they have you in traffic court. Yes.
It totally is an important part of having superpowers.
That's silly.
Think about Batman had the bright yellow thing on his chest, Superman, bright blue and red.
Okay, those characters
Why else would Batman have a bright yellow bat on his chest unless he was worried about being hit by traffic?
Because those kind of features help the characters stand out, it's for the artist.
They stand out in the darkness so that when they run across the street, a car doesn't run them over.
No, it's so they're appealing to look at, because they're a comic.
Batman doesn't know that he's a comic book character.
Okay, well, there was a comic where they explained that Batman put that thing on his chest because it was the most heavily armored part of the armor.
That one is always stupid ridiculous.
Yeah, if you were gonna armor the batsuit, it would be on the guts, because that's where you get wounded and then you bleed out.
Guys, come on. To protect from traffic accidents?
It is the most pragmatic explanation. Yes.
Yeah, try to come up with another reason why you'd have a bright yellow thing on your chest.
Brand placement.
Oh, yeah, beat by marketing again.
Yeah, now that one makes sense. Batman was a big businessman. He was all about his Bat brand.
Yeah, and I guess now that you bring that up, it does kind of make sense. I mean, you think about it, there were a lot of superheroes and a lot of supervillains in the DC universe. The ones that stuck around were the ones with really good brand marketing.
Curse you, the wiles of money and notoriety. We will have our revenge on you one day.
There could have been other superheroes in Gotham, like maybe the Super Sasquatch, but no one ever built the Sasquatch signal because he didn't have the brand recognition.
That's too bad, too, because that would have been catchy. The Sasquatch signal, summoning the Super Sasquatch to be sassy with criminals.
Nobody respects a man who simply wears a balaclava and lacks his brand of boomerang.
Okay, so I guess what we can establish is that Fluttershy is a ninja, and a really good one because she'll never get hit by a car. But she needs better brand marketing.
She needs Fluttershy knives. Like butterfly knives, only Fluttershy. Yes.
Yeah, little butterfly knives with like her cutie mark on them, and they're all pink.
Oh, and for medical supplies, she could have Fluttershy bandages.
Dude, we need to call Hasbro.
I don't think they'd be really big on butterfly knives.
They sell Pinkie Pie toothpaste.
Yeah, I bet you could get them to sell Band-Aids. They do SpongeBob Band-Aids, don't they?
Yeah, but butterfly band-aids have kind of a more niche purpose, and so it wouldn't be all that great.
Okay, but there's a lot of other butterfly puns, like maybe Fluttershy kisses Fluttershy. It's like a Fluttershy doll with like really long, soft eyelashes.
Okay, that one's probably more in their actual vein. They could probably do something with that. I mean, the eyelashes might have problems. They could get broken.
Well, it's a toy. Of course it's gonna break. It's not like a collector's edition, handmade plush or something. It'd be really huggable, like a stuffed animal, and the eyelashes are made of some kind of soft material that kind of tickles while you hug it, but still feels nice.
Or, because Lord of the Rings was very big, we could change Fluttershy into a Balrog, and then make the show change Fluttershy into a Balrog, and then sell Balrog toys. Yes.
And Scootaloo absolutely train wrecks Fluttershy in pitched combat.
Your Balrog suggestion just drained all the happiness right out of my soul.
Life is not fair sometimes.
So we have collected Fluttershy, but do we go and fetch Pinkie?
No. When we first saw Pinkie, it said that she smiled, even when she doesn't feel like it.
Clearly she's suffered enough.
Yes. It's time to let Pinkie Pie rest in her sacrifice.
Okay.
We could go back to that tower, though, and see if we can kill that dragon now. I mean, we got Rarity her grand train thing, so that's good.
I don't know if we can even use that in the tower. I mean, the whole tower's gotten to be a much bigger pain in the butt because a whole bunch of party members can't even cast magic.
Why do we care then?
Well, we don't care about the Magi Master at the top because it's not going to be worth the effort. But we do care about the White Dragon because they'll give us a Pearl Lance, which is like the best spear weapon in the game.
Sounds like we're starting to get kind of grindy.
We are kind of, but we need to put together at least 3 comprehensive teams. The last section of the game calls for it, so we need the equipment for those teams as well. Aside from that, we're gonna need at least 3 magic users, so we've got Sweetie Belle, Rarity, and Luna.
But not Trixie or Celestia, who we plan to just leave on the airship.
Yeah, it is a self-imposed drawback to our planning that I have created out of personal preference, but we won't need them anyway.
And we don't need Pinkie either.
No.
Okay, how about Applejack?
I like Applejack.
Okay, good to know. We'll get Applejack then.
I still like Fluttershy bandages too,
They're not gonna sell Band-Aids.
Why not? Fluttershy is like the motherly pony. She looks after people. She belongs on Band-Aids.
Look, I'm not saying that it's not a cute idea, and it would be great. I would totally buy that sort of thing if my daughter got a scrape.
So it's a good idea.
For the purpose of brand marketing exclusively. As a business investment, it's really not all that hot. Why do you suppose they made Twilight a princess?
To compete with Disney princesses, because they were doing really good.
Right, and they probably figured that princess toys are doing really good based on a thing called technical analysis. Technical analysis is when they go and they look back at selling trends, and based on that, they extrapolate what they want to do in the future. This is a really important thing for a big company like Hasbro, because they're very large, and when they make a decision, they can't do it right away. They've got to license stuff, they've got to build the molds for the toys, there's a lot of stuff that has to happen. So what do you think is the technical analysis on Band-Aids?
Good, maybe? I don't know.
You knew we would not know the answer. You lead us to purposeful defeat. Yes.
I don't really know either, but I'm gonna bet you anything that Band-Aids are not really fast-moving products. You just buy one box and it lasts you for a good while. So I mean, Band-Aids with cartoon characters on them are a thing, but it's not that big of a thing.
Oh well.
It is okay. We can still do Fluttershy knives.
Oh man, that dragon just one-hit KO'd Scootaloo and she had the shell spell on and everything.
This game cheats. Yes.
After this dragon kills us, let's just forget it. We'll go and get the other characters, then grind for a while, then get whatever it is that we need, and we'll wrap everything up.
We are almost done.
So what are you guys thinking about playing next?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Ponymans.
I tested that one out and I had problems with the memory getting corrupted, and also my emulator wouldn't record very well.
We don't have to do a pony game.
Soul Reaver 2. Yes. Kill Kain.
I really loved that game when I was younger, and now that I'm an adult, I can actually analyze it and sort of make a lot of fun of it.
Well good, let's go with that one then.
It's full of cutscenes though, so it might be bait for YouTube's Content ID system.
Then we will recreate the cutscenes.
Oh yeah, we could maybe do that.
Yes, if they don't want us to show off their cutscenes, then we will make still image cutscenes of our own.
Yeah. We just make a complete mockery of the entire game. That's transformative, won't get hit by the Content ID system, it's perfect.
Okay, and it's also pretty original, but guys, I'm really bad at characters. Can you please maybe not make me do that?
You're gonna do it and you're gonna love it.
Okay, fine, whatever, but I've got a proposal if we're gonna do this.
No, I will not accept terms. You eat all my food.
We've been talking about branding and business all episode, and I was thinking, what if we kind of start to adopt our own branding?
You will make us a business shill.
Maybe we could start using each other's names and stuff. Maybe, call our videos something besides Let's Ramble Overs. We'll be a bit more identifiable.
Okay, well, I'm the leader, so we're gonna call it Rambling with Ray.
No, we will call it Submit to Peyton. Your will is inferior.
Well, we've got some options. We don't have to decide now. We'll think about it. We could do, Play with Ray, or Ray Plays, Replay.
No, I don't think we want to do Ray Play.
Yes, do Ray Play.
Why don't we want to do that one?
Say it 5 times fast.
Oh.
That's okay. It's no big deal, and we'll just do it for the next series.
But I wanted our name to be unfortunate. Is it not okay if we do it purposefully?
No.
No, I don't think so.
Hmm.
Sorry, you're outvoted. Anyway, thanks for playing with us, everybody.